Welcome to Deep Dive, the podcast where we skip the distracting visuals and focus on one essential idea to help you sharpen your focus and understand the world more clearly. I'm your host, Corey. Today, we're doing a mini podcast on a feeling I think everyone in the world has experienced. You've just finished a full meal, you're not a bottomless pit, but you're still hungry. Or maybe just an hour later, you're already in the kitchen looking for a snack. It's frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel like you just have no willpower. But what if it's not about willpower at all? What if it's a complex communication breakdown in your body? Here to help us understand the science is our expert, Sharon. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Corey. It's a great topic, and you're right. It's almost always a biological signal failure, not a personal one.
A signal failure? Like my brain isn't getting the message?
Exactly. Your appetite is controlled by dozens of signals, but the two most powerful players in this are a pair of hormones that act like a go and stop light for hunger. Their names are ghrelin and leptin.
Okay, ghrelin and leptin. I've heard those words, but I always mix them up. Which one is which?
It's simple. Ghrelin is the go hormone. You can remember it because it makes your stomach go grrr. It's produced in your stomach, and when your stomach is empty, it sends a powerful signal up to your brain that says, it is time to eat. Find food.
That's that unmistakable empty feeling when you can't focus on your work right before lunch.
That's ghrelin in action. Its opponent is leptin, which is the stop hormone. Leptin is released from your body's fat tissue, and it acts as a long-term energy accountant. It sends a message to your brain that says, we have plenty of energy stored. We are safe. You can stop eating now.
Okay, so leptin is the we're good signal, and ghrelin is the we need food signal.
Precisely. In a healthy body, this system is like an elegant dance. Before a meal, ghrelin is high, so you feel hungry. After you eat, your stomach is full, so ghrelin levels drop. The alarm is silenced. At the same time, leptin signals from your energy stores tell your brain you're satisfied. The go signal is off, the stop signal is on, you feel full.
That sounds perfect. So what breaks? Why am I still standing at the pantry after dinner?
This is where we meet the monster in our story. The primary way this system breaks is a condition called leptin resistance.
Leptin resistance. So my body is resistant to the stop signal.
Precisely. It's a terrible paradox. A person can have plenty of energy stored, which means their body is producing and screaming the stop signal. Massive amounts of leptin are being sent, but the brain is deaf to it.
How? Why would the brain just go deaf to its own signal? That seems like a huge design flaw.
It's a flaw that our modern environment really exploits. There are a couple of analogies. First, think of the pathway to the brain as the blood-brain barrier, as a single doorway. If there's too much leptin all the time, that doorway just gets jammed. It becomes overwhelmed, and the message can't get through efficiently.
Oh, so leptin gets to the brain cell, but the internal machinery isn't hearing the leptin?
Yeah, like the bell door on the cell itself is broken. The signal arrives, but the cell's internal machinery is jammed, so it never hears the ring.
Wow. So let me get this straight. My body is sending the stop signal, but my brain's doorbell is broken. So my brain, which isn't hearing the stop signal, makes a terrible mistake. It thinks I'm starving, even when I'm not.
You've got it. Your brain, in its panic, keeps the hunger signals on because it's blind to the fact that you're full. But that's only half the problem.
It gets worse?
It can be. This is the double whammy. We've talked about the broken stop signal. Now let's talk about the go signal, ghrelin. In a healthy person, after you eat, that go signal should get very, very quiet.
But it doesn't.
For many, no. The suppression is very weak. The go alarm never fully turns off. It just becomes a persistent, nagging background hunger. And the type of food we eat is a major factor here.
You mean like a donut makes it react differently than a bowl of lentils?
That's a perfect example. Research is very clear that protein is the most powerful macronutrient for silencing ghrelin. Meals high in refined carbohydrates and fats are far less effective at turning off that go signal.
I've definitely felt that. After a huge bowl of sugary cereal, I'm hungry an hour later, but after a big bowl of lentil soup, I'm full for hours.
That's the feeling. You're not imagining it. So now you're in a state where your stop signal, leptin, is broken and your go signal, ghrelin, is stuck on because your meal didn't turn it off properly.
That sounds like a perfect storm for overeating.
That is the perfect storm. And ghrelin has a secret job. This is the part that most people miss. It doesn't just tell your brain you need food. It also acts on the reward center of your brain to tell you you want food.
Oh, is that the dessert menu feeling? When you're totally stuffed from dinner, you couldn't eat another bite, but then the waiter brings the dessert menu and you suddenly have a separate stomach for the chocolate cake?
That is exactly what that is. That's hedonic or pleasure-based hunger. Normally, your high leptin levels would tell you the reward brain, no, we're good. That cake doesn't look appealing. But when your leptin signal is broken, there is no break. You have an unsilenced go signal telling you to want the cake and a broken stop signal that fails to tell you you've had enough.
This is fascinating, and it sounds like a trap. It explains so much. Is it just the food that causes this, or are there other factors that make it worse?
There are, and they are the two biggest factors of modern life: poor sleep and chronic stress. They pour gasoline on this fire.
I definitely feel ravenous after a bad night's sleep, and I'm not craving broccoli either.
You're not imagining it. Studies show that even a few nights of bad sleep will cause a hormonal disaster. Your stop signal, leptin, decreases, and your go signal, ghrelin, increases.
Wow, so it's a double whammy.
A double whammy. You wake up with the brain that is chemically primed to be hungry and to crave high-energy junk food.
And stress. I know I stress eat.
That's the other saboteur. The stress hormone cortisol directly stimulates your appetite, especially for those high-fat, high-sugar comfort foods. Even worse, chronic cortisol can actually contribute to that leptin resistance we talked about. It helps break the doorbell.
So let me get this straight. I get stressed at work, which makes me want junk food. The stress also messes up my sleep. The bad sleep messes up my hunger hormones, making me even hungrier and crave more junk food. And all of it together is breaking my stop signal.
That is the vicious cycle. And that's why that feeling of being hungry all the time is not a failure of your character. It's a logical, predictable consequence of a biological system under siege.
So in our overcoming the monster story, the monster is this whole cycle. What's the resolution? How do we help the body win?
The resolution isn't a magic pill. It's about giving your body a fighting chance. It's about working with your biology, not against it. This means, number one, prioritizing sleep is non-negotiable for hormone health. Number two, finding ways to manage stress to lower that cortisol. And number three, focusing on what's on your plate, building your meals around protein and fiber to properly silence that go signal, ghrelin.
That is a powerful and honestly a very kind way to look at it. It's not a willpower failure, it's a signal failure. Thank you, Sharon. This clears up so much. And that wraps up today's deep dive. Thank you for investing your attention. By skipping the visuals, you're doing more than just listening. You're actively sharpening your focus and boosting your analytical mind. For more essential, distraction-free analysis on the world's most important topics, be sure to subscribe to Deep Dive. Until next time, keep listening.